It just doesn't stop. Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs, more recruits, hot trail. We're going to talk about, I don't know, how about a absolute burner on the offensive side of the ball, commits to Georgia, another wide receiver in the fold. We're going to talk about him next, what he brings to Bulldogs right now.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is good, people? It is Clint here. Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Thank you so much for making us your first listen of the day. We know you got many choices, but we're glad we are here. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. More on them in a minute. Best place to get last minute deals, flash deals, and everything that you need for the Major League Baseball season. But let's get to it. Bulldogs land another one. The recruiting trail stays hot. 3, 1 week, 4. You count a couple of weeks back to back. Landon Roldan comes in Bogart, Georgia. He is right now 3-star. But hold up a second. 6 foot 180. Landon got some speed to him. Now we say 6 foot 180, and that's a good size kid, high school. Truth be told, it's not bad for especially the skill set that he has and all that. But he needs to get some more mass to him. Okay, fine, fantastic. But if you look at what he was able to do in Georgia, and with not a great team, a good team, a couple minutes away from a couple other Georgia recruits, good team. He's a late to the stage guy. Many of us know of recruits from 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. All of a sudden we hit the radar. All of a sudden they hit the circuit. They get some buzz, some things going. We got pictures of people with Kirby when they were real young and in the recruiting cycle saying, hey, this kid might be coming up here in the next couple of years to a freshman or a sophomore. And you're like, what is going on? This kid's not that. He hasn't been somebody that's been on the radar for a long time. He's been on the radar just a short amount of time. And in that short amount of time, he has shown a lot of colleges, and many more will come a knocking. That Georgia bump gonna hit when all of a sudden Georgia says, yeah, we want him. He says, yeah, I want to go there. All of a sudden people are going to take notice and want to come check out what Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo and James Coley are looking at. And he's going to get that bump. He's going to get more attention. Didn't have many other offers. Georgia Tech, Air Force, Army, schools like that came after him, Central Michigan and the like. But all of a sudden, 6 foot 180. And just an when I say burner, I don't think you understand what I mean when I say burner, unless you go check out film. Slip screen on the outside, O-line comes washing down, DBs go flying, and he undercuts, and he looks like Brock Bowers splitting 2 Auburn safeties as if they are standing still. He's faster than Brock Bowers, doesn't have that athleticism size combo that Brock does. But Lennon over here showing us that given the best straight line, given the best, get on your horse and giddy up and go and just burn. Give him 6 inches, as one NFL star used to say. Well, return man said, give me 6 inches. That's all I need. I just need a little window. Well, that's what's happening over here. You give this guy daylight and he's going to run to it. And he's going to find daylight and he's going to keep going. That's what he brings to the table. Make no bones about it. Other wide receivers in this group we talked about yesterday, a Rome Odunze type player. And Rome Odunze is not just a burner. He's a guy that can do possession, go up and get the ball, high point a ball. He's a complete wide receiver. Landon is a burner. Now, he probably will develop some other skills, as we all know. But a late to the party wide receiver that Kirby Smart and company said, we want. We've talked about the wide receiver room at Georgia right now. We got 4 commits into this wide receiver room, which is quite impressive if you ask me for who these guys are and what they bring to the table. They are all different in all their respects of what they bring. We got Taylor. We got Blackshear. We got Williams, and now we got Landon. They're coming in. And each one of these guys brings something different to the table, and I'm very, very excited. Now, please don't do this. When we're talking about Landon, we're going to talk about in segment 2 and 3. Segment 3, by the way, for the 199, the loyal third segment, we're going to talk about an SEC schedule and some season win totals that came out because, oh boy, it is wild what's happening with win totals right now. Just talking season is in full effect. But if you look at what he brings compared to all the rest of the guys, he's a little bit slimmer, a little bit slighter than the rest of them. He's going to be a burner. He's going to be up and going. But guys, just give him some time. This is reeks of Kirby special. Sometimes Kirby goes down, plucks a 4-star out of South Florida or Florida in general or anywhere else, Illinois, and you say, okay, I get why he's there. Not only do they have speed, they have possession. Sometimes Kirby plucks a guy out that nobody else is looking at, but he's looking at. They're looking together, and he goes, I want him for a specific reason. And I see something else because this just in. Here's why 5 stars. I talked about this yesterday on the podcast. 5 stars cannot at times be asked to do all the components that Kirby Smart asks. If you are a 5-star and you're used to only run and go routes and you're only used to high point a ball and you're not asked to do other things, Kirby don't want you. He's going to be asking you. It fits within a system. He's not going to be forcing a pigeonhole into something. Guys, Kirby saw something in Landon that says he could be an every down wide receiver. I don't waste my spots. I don't do this with guys that can't do it. Y'all, watch out. He's a burner, but he's got something else in his back pocket as well. We're going to come back after this. I'm going to tell you why this is important and how this roster management is shaping out with the rest of the SEC and Ohio States of the world that are recruiting on fire as well. Nothing stopping. It is not an off season at all. But first, these. And these are, in fact, eBay Motors. eBay Motors lets your number one ride or die continue to be living, continue to do amazing things, because passion, drive, and patience is a formula for winning championship. Whether you need peak performance, leveling up your interior, exterior, superchargers, roof rafts, exhaust kits, LED lights, 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Your part is guaranteed fit. Your ride every time. Money back, because eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need, the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only for U.S. customers. Guys, I'm recruiting this on Thursday, going to put it out on Friday. Friday's still here. We're going to possibly get more. Rumors are there are still rumblings out there. We have plenty of room in this recruiting class. If you look at where we're at, number 3 overall by some recruiting services, that average did take a little bit of a hit with some of the other recruits, but I think just give it the senior year. We're going to see how guys fall. This always happens in the recruiting services. Don't look at a 5-star and think, well, he's going to be a guaranteed lock. Don't do that. Don't look at a 3-star and say, well, he's a guaranteed project. These kids are sophomores and juniors who are coming out, who are now going to be juniors and play for a senior now this year, full season. Average does go down 92.94. We have 17 commits, which within the top, I'm just looking right now, top 10, the top 10 of recruiting rankings, 17 commits. There's a couple of teams that have less. Clemson has 13 commits. A&M has 15 commits. LSU has 12 commits. Georgia, within the top 5, 6, is the fewest commits so far. A lot more meat on the bones. 2 5-stars, 13 4-stars, 2 3-stars, 92.94 rating per recruit. Now, just hold on for a second here. When we talk about wide receivers, we're talking about burners. We're talking about guys getting on the outside and going deep. But also look at the composition of what we have so far in this recruiting class, because I think this recruiting class has a special opportunity to be one of the best. One of the best Kirby has done. Why? Well, look at Zayden Walker. That dude is going to be, y'all know, Daniel's not here. I don't know where he's at. Hey, if you see him in a basement somewhere blinking for help a brother out. I don't know where he's at. Zayden Walker, y'all know that I'm a West Coast living guy. There was a guy, Patrick Willis, who played linebacker for the 49ers, who was quite remarkable, quite special. I'm not saying Zayden Walker is him, but also I'm not saying he's not. That dude's special. Isaiah Gibson, special. Williams, tight end. 6'7", 235. Stop me if you've heard that before. If you've heard of a guy that big. Now, darn it, Washington, 285. 50 pounds to go, we'll see. There is edge defenders. There's wide receivers. There are quarterbacks. Ryan Montgomery at the Elite 11 showed a lot of accuracy with that. Todd Robinson, safety, Georgia. Mason Short, lineman. Glover, huge offensive lineman. And we got more guys to go here. If you look at where Georgia stands with a lot of these top recruits that are going to be coming off the board soon, no, they have to, the signing period and all that good stuff. I understand that. But if you look at where they're at, Georgia's in the running to land a number of top guys. I'm not talking specific guys. These are the guys that are specific. Kirby Smart is going to go out and get a 3-star burner wide receiver. But I'm talking about dudes who are decommitting from West Coast schools, who haven't made commitment dates as of yet, who, if you look at the crystal balls coming out, guys, there is a huge ability for Kirby Smart to land one of his best all-time classes coming up right now. And I think the reason why it's so important is not only because we have offensive depth and we have defensive ability, the right 5 stars in the right places, playmakers at tight end. Kirby Smart's already shown he could do that. Speed guys at wide receiver, a quarterback who has some moxie and has some competitiveness was on this podcast. Montgomery was fantastic. We loved the tar out of him when he was here. But he's getting it on the defensive, offensive line. He's getting it linebacker, and he's not done yet. There's rumors all abound. And what I love about this type of season and right now, y'all, come on, stop it. Just stop it with all the crystal balls, this, and stop celebrating when a crystal ball is hit. That's not good for anybody. It's not a good look whatsoever. But if you look at guys like Elijah Griffin, it seems that he's leaning heavily, let's say, to Georgia, heavily favored. Defensive lineman, 6'5", 285, out of Savannah, Georgia. That seems really good. Justice Terry, who decommitted, went to USC. Looks like he's got buddies and friends going to Georgia. Looks like he's coming in. Okay, so he's in the works for it as well. All right, that's another couple 5-star dudes who are in the program, who might be coming over. I should say not in the program, but might be coming over. And if you keep looking down the list, the predictions, the insiders, the gurus, which there are none, by the way, because these kids surprise everybody all the time. See Wiley's commitment, in which Florida State was chosen. Nobody saw that coming. If you look at these kids and you look at where they're going and what they're paying attention to, Kirby Smart in the top 100 has absolute not only value and top end talent, but the right talent. Defensive line, Bryce Davis, North Carolina, looks like he's crystal ball to Georgia as well. There's tons of room yet on that recruiting cycle. And again, I've already pointed out, we don't have in the top 6, we have the least amount of already committed guys to be at Georgia. Everybody else, roster's getting full, roster's hitting that mark at a certain point, and we don't know exactly what it is because of transfer rules and all of that. But if you keep scrolling down, we have plenty of room left to go. Crystal balls are out there. And I'm in the top 100 of recruits nationally. If Kirby Smart lands a couple of those guys that are already listed that are crystal ball to us, 100% on some of them predicted, it could wind up being the most talented defensive line group of all time at Georgia. Could be wind up being the most deep wide receiver group, not the most talented. We talk about this all the time. Kirby Smart goes for depth at wide receiver room, and we're going to see that playing out every single year from here until when he's gone. Just so you know, it's not going to be one 5-star and a whole bunch of schmoes. That's not going to be Kirby's. He's going to have depth all the way in the wide receiver room. On the defensive line, he's going to have dudes stacked everywhere. People are just having to go elsewhere to find playing time because they're getting pushed over. Linebacker room, same thing. We're going to be pushing people out defensive line, linebacker, because we have so many. We're going to be welcoming people in. Rah-rahs, Lovitz, Humphreys, and a stacked deep room all the way through. On right, that's what we have. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're observing in the top 100, full of Georgia predictions and Georgia commits of linebackers, defensive line, offensive line, all the way through. Elsewhere, not so much. It's the cycle. Get used to it. This is the Kirby recipe. If you don't like that Kirby recipe, you don't like a 2-time national champion. Like you're crazy. You're crazy. Keep on looking for it. It's going to be the status quo from here. And I'm going to come back after this. We're going to go over some season win predictions, and we're going to talk about Georgia specifically. It's insane what's happening right now. We'll do all that next. But first, I want to let you know about Game Time. Game Time's fantastic. I love them. You should love them as well, because right now MLB season is all the rage. Great stuff is happening. Major League Baseball Braves are starting to make a run. If not for all the injuries, what is going on? But this just in, you can find tickets to see the Braves in whatever city you are in. You can travel on down to Atlanta to the A, or you can find them as they go on the road and play other teams. It's the only authorized ticket marketplace in Major League Baseball, which makes ticket faster, easier, prices guaranteed on the app. Go down the closer it gets to first pitch. Last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals all the time. And it has a Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. That's fantastic. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, I said we're going to talk about season win totals and some things that are happening in the SEC right now. CBS, y'all. CBS just crazy. Okay, like just crazy right now. I'm going to go over some regular season record predictions. Daniel, when he gets back, whenever he gets back, he always does this to me, by the way. Right now, we're here with the 199. The 199. You guys, you're it. There it is. We found the logo. It's back. It's right there. 199. We love you guys to death. You're our favorite. That's why we do this podcast. You hear us all the time. You're loved. When Daniel gets back, 199 knows every single summer he does this to me. He just bails out for 3. I literally, I texted him this. I was like, when we're recording, he's like, I'm still not there. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I don't know. My man, just in a blender right now. When he gets back, we're going to break these down a little bit more. But if you look at what the people over at CBS have predicted, and by the way, all y'all, I know NCAA college game, or the game's coming out on next couple of weeks. I get it. Please don't be that dude that says, don't be that gal, don't be that dude that says, well, we're not ranked high enough on defense or offense. These are wild model predictions. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Who knows? They just do it based upon pure conjecture of what will be. Because if you go based upon what was happened last year, there's never been a season in what teams ranked last year in offense were the same exact the following year. So don't do that. Don't be hurt over fake imaginary ratings of people that haven't played yet. Don't do that. But CBS, here's what they're predicting. They're looking at the records, and a couple notable, I'll run through them all. We'll break it down when Daniel gets back. Alabama's expected to go 10-2. Daniel and I have actually been saying 10-2 for Alabama. Sounds about right. We do, in fact, think that if they are 11-1, 10-2, they might be playing for the SEC championship. They're in the playoff. This is about right. 10-2 is about right for Alabama. Season win total for Alabama is 10.5, which is putting it right here. Arkansas 4-8. Arkansas hits 4-8. Sam Pittman's done. If Arkansas goes 4-8, he's out, and that's likely going to be the case. Okay. Auburn 8-4. Auburn's a sneaky good team again. Hugh Freeze does know how to call people and score points. Florida 4-8. I've been telling y'all, like CBS so far. Okay, we good so far. Florida is bad. 4-8 sounds about right for them. Georgia 12-0. CBS is predicting Georgia to go undefeated in the regular season. I'm telling you this right now. I have no clue what's going to happen in playoff time because of that bracket and what's going to happen. Who knows? This is the first time we're experiencing the expanded playoff. If Georgia goes 12-0, it will be one of the best regular seasons of all time in college football. This schedule is bananas for Georgia. It's got a talented team. Georgia's incredible. Georgia's good. There's been a lot of circulation about this might actually be the most talented roster, top to bottom, Kirby's ever had. I don't know about that. We're going to find out. But man, 12-0 for CBS. That's bold. Kentucky 6-6. I think that's a little low for Kentucky. I think they do have an infusion of talent. It is Stoops. He is always but I think he's going to win 2 more games. I think 8 is about the number of wins he's going to have. LSU 10-2. That's wild. Mississippi State 4-8. That's high as well. Missouri 10-2. Missouri 10-2. Okay. Oklahoma 7-5. I actually think they do worse than that. I think that's far too high. Ole Miss 10-2. I think Missouri and Ole Miss is getting that CBS offseason chatterbox love right there. Gamecocks 4-8. Not great. Tennessee 10-2. pause. 10-2 Tennessee. Have you seen the schedule? Have you seen their roster? Have you seen their quarterback? Have you 10-2 for Heupel? I just the insanity keeps. These next three, I think, are wildly inaccurate. Now, if you were to ask me what are the accurate ones, I haven't come to a landing page yet, but it strikes me as odd right away. Tennessee 10-2, Texas 11-1. Texas is good. That one loss to Georgia, and then they run the whole rest of the schedule. Okay, but again, first year SEC schedule. I'm not doubting they're a good team. I think they're a good team. First year SEC schedule 11-1. That's bold. Usually when teams come into a new situation, it's not like that. It's not as easy. A&M 8-4. What? Maybe you get rid of Jimbo and all of a sudden things change. And then Vanderbilt 3-9. Vanderbilt they have some players actually. I'm not gonna lie. They got some dudes. They lost some dudes, but they got some dudes. What is happening, CBS? We're going to dive into some of these. I think just initial reaction. I think Alabama actually has probably a better chance of getting 11 wins, 11-1. Arkansas, Sam Pittman's done. Auburn, I think, is actually good at 8-4. I think that's a huge win for everybody there. Georgia 12-0. I think we suffer one loss. We've been on the record of that. I'm sorry, y'all. Kentucky, I think, is better. Mississippi State, I think, is worse. Missouri, I think, is worse. Oklahoma, Ole Miss is not. I don't think they win 10 games. Tennessee is no. Give me somebody bet me right now. 10-2 Tennessee. Put it online. You put in the comments right now, and we'll talk. Texas 11-1 sounds about right. We're going to be breaking down these a little bit more as CBS continue to do this, and as Georgia continues to land recruits. This is Clint, Locked On Bulldogs, your team every single day. We will see you guys next time.